LA. Atom Tickets is definitely a startup here in LA that many know about. So could you share more about initially kind of joining the Atom team and then what you're working on there?
Sure, yeah. So like I said, like I joined the day that the product launched. So like they had built, the V1 of the product. Um, so the first few months I was there, we were kind of rolling out the product across the country. So I don't know what everyone knows about the movie theater business, but there are basically like three major movie theater chains and then a lot of regional chains. So Regal, AMC, and Cinemark are the three biggest. So they represent about 60%, 65% of tickets sold in the US, and have about that number of locations. So we had actually initially launched in Canada in March with Landmark Theaters, who's like the number two theater chain in Canada. And then we had signed AMC and Regal. And then throughout the summer, we were launching with them. And then throughout that period, we were also launching regional competitors like ArcLight, which, rest in peace, which is no longer around, but was a big chain in the LA area. Like Imagine Theaters, which is a big one in like the Michigan, Minnesota area, and like numerous others that are, have different geographic sort of concentration. So our original product, it was a mobile app. We actually didn't even have a transactional website when we launched. And then we also had a piece of physical hardware, which was basically like a custom Android tablet that we would set up at theaters that theaters could use to scan all tickets, like Atom tickets, Fandango tickets, tickets that you bought from AMC directly, and then also had a set of features that would allow theaters to pre-sell concessions, which is a very common feature today. But I think Atom was actually the first company to offer that. So if you went to a Regal Cinema, for example, you could buy your tickets on the Atom app, and during that transaction, you could also like add a popcorn, add a soda, add a candy. And when you got to the theater, that food would be prepared for you, and you could just walk up to the Atom lane, scan your QR code, and they would go get your items and hand them to you. So you didn't have to wait in line. It was actually pretty cool when it worked. First 6 months we were just kind of rolling out, and then after that, like my focus became more on, how do we improve the experience? Like what new features can we add? Which we added like a ton of things. We did a bunch of really interesting partnerships with T-Mobile, where T-Mobile customers would get a $4 movie ticket every month. We partnered with Amazon to do Prime movie screenings. So Prime members could get access to see a movie 2 weeks before it came out in theaters. So we did that a few times. That was actually the first Prime benefits that Amazon ever offered, like off of Amazon directly, which was really cool. So we partnered with studios who would do big ad buys on Amazon, and then we would sort of execute getting the screening set up, and we would be the source of ticketing. And as an Amazon Prime user, you would just come to Atom, link your Amazon account, which would check your Prime status, and then you would be kind of unlocked to be able to buy those tickets, which was kind of cool. We also did some partnerships with Disney to sell merchandise with tickets for, some big Star Wars and Marvel movie releases. So lots of cool things. I think I mentioned when I was talking about Adam before, like business model margins, very challenging in movie ticketing. Studios and movie theaters take all of the ticketing revenue. So in order for Atom Tickets business model to work, we really needed to scale our customers in order to be able to have enough of a base for advertising and sponsorships to be a meaningful line of revenue. So it's really kind of real tricky to kind of figure out what to do. And that's really where those like focus on partnerships with big companies that have a lot of customers came into focus, because there was really no way to like grow our audience by just buying like Facebook ads, for example. Like, acquiring customers that way is pretty expensive, and it gets less efficient over time. Paled in comparison with our ability to reach like millions and millions of people in one shot with, these consistent T-Mobile promotions or with Amazon or stuff like that. So like a lot of our focus ended up being on like, well, how do we partner up? Customers have like a very high perceived value on movie tickets, even though the cost is relatively low if you're a company like T-Mobile trying to run interesting promotions. So we ended up spending a lot of time on that, built a lot of cool features in addition, like the merchandising feature, concessions, and things like that.